I had two really big unexpected expenses happen to me in the last month, but I'm not stressed. I get to pay them in cash, in full. Let me show you how I did that. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you know I'm constantly preaching the importance of an emergency fund. And this time, my emergency fund saved my ass. And I need you to have one too, so that you don't have to be stressed and scrambling when something unexpected happens. What happened to me was we had some roof damage from a storm and we have to pay $600 to get it repaired. Okay, that's not a big deal. I had it in my emergency fund. Yesterday, my car bit the dust while taking my kid to practice. We took it to the shop and the head gasket is blown. So we haven't gotten a quote for that, but it's going to be somewhere in the range probably of $2,000 to $5,000. The reason I'm not like crying and panicking about this is because I have the money set to the side already. I have 6 months worth of expenses in my emergency fund, and that is going to completely cover these things. So while it does suck that I have to drop all of that money, the point is that I had the money. Okay, I don't have to scramble. I don't have to cry. I don't have to panic. The money is there. And yes, I'll have to rebuild it and it will be inconvenient, but I had the money. That's the point. And that's something that I tell people all the time. When you're saving up your emergency fund, things are going to happen, but that's what the money is for. So don't panic, just rebuild it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let me show you how to save your own emergency fund so that when things like this happen to you, you are not going to be scrambling and panicking. You're going to have the money. The first thing you need to do is learn your spending habits. You do this by going through a past bank statement and seeing where all your money is going. Even better if you can look through multiple past bank statements and see where exactly are you spending your money. Those are your spending habits. If you love to go out to eat and you spend a lot of money on that, that's important to you. You need to include it in your budget, but that's the next step. So go through the statements with some highlighters and see where's that money going. Write down the different categories and the amounts and see what do you want to keep, what do you want to get rid of. Your second step is to create a realistic budget that includes these spending habits so that you can actually stick to it. If you do not include any of your spending habits that you've been doing, you're not going to stick to this budget because you're going to feel overly restricted. You have to give yourself some wiggle room here, and that is the point of this step. Then we need to find your goal number for your emergency fund. So your fully funded emergency fund needs to have 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses in it. So go and look at your budget, add up all of your monthly expenses. You can just do the bills or you can do all your expenses as a whole and multiply that by 3 or 6 to get your goal number or your goal range. Write that down somewhere so that you can see it all the time and you can know what your goal is. You're going to hit it faster than you think you will. Then look at your budget again and see how much can you send to savings each month or each check and automate that so that you don't even have to think about it. Set up an automatic transfer on your payday from your bank account to your high yield savings account, which by the way, you should have one of those. If you don't know what it is, I do have videos about it. When you automate it, it's automatically happening, right? You don't have to think about it and you're not going to miss that money or even think about it because it's gone. Here are some things you can do to accelerate you hitting this goal and collapse the time in between. You can get a temporary side hustle. You can cut some of your expenses that you don't need. You can do a savings challenge. These work really well. And you can sell stuff. I'm sure there are other ideas too, but the point is that you temporarily do some things that are going to get you closer to your goal way faster. I'm on here telling you this because this works, and I want every single person to be able to experience being able to cover the unexpected expenses that life throws at them. This is a different level of peace, and I did not have to go into debt to be able to pay for these things that are non-negotiable. I have to have a roof. I have to have a car. If you're starting from zero, this can feel very overwhelming, especially if you're close to living check to check. But just go through and do these steps and see where it takes you. One step at a time is going to get you to your goal if you have some patience and you have some consistency. You got this, friend.